Welcome back. Zooming in a little bit here. So this is the final turn, turn 4. And I even debated playing this turn because I thought, what's all going to happen on turn 4? It's pretty much over. But holy cow, does a lot of stuff happen sometimes in this game. So over here, pretty much getting off the map like we talked about earlier, that's pretty much over. The Confederates started out great. I got greedy. Thought maybe we could go for this HQ. So Barksdale's brigade is pretty beat up. He's got a unit here, and I think McClaws was Barksdale. Oh, actually Barksdale lost 3 of them, so he's got 1 regiment left. The other ones are gone. Woffard, just in completeness, pushed the attack. McClaw's leading the attack on this unit here. They started out pretty much full strength. Now they're pretty much broken. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but what is the word I'm looking for? Wrecked. Pretty much wrecked. But they're able to drive 2 Union regiments out of this spot, and they just about took out those guns. The guns didn't have canister because it was out, but it just wrecked them. I think I rolled like a 11 or a 12 or something. But as they charged through here, they disorganized this unit and the 3rd Michigan, and I believe they wrecked it. Yep, it's down to 2. And I want to say this unit with Graham here, this routed. This is the first one that routed. It was up here, right here. With Graham, it routed, and it's wrecked. It's down to 1 strength point. This one here, I think, was 1 strength point. Yeah, they're wrecked. This one is not wrecked, so he will be able to move up, and I'd probably move up here and bolster the line. But I'm still going to do the Union turn just for completeness. But he shot up some guys to help with over here. These 18th Georgia pushed back once, and it failed its closing roll. Actually, no, they just shot. These guys pushed back once and failed their closing roll on a wrecked unit, I believe. Yeah, they failed to close. Actually, I think... yeah, there's no modifier for going after a wrecked unit. I thought I'd better check that. But basically, this whole line is shaken and wrecked everywhere. It's just disaster everywhere for the Union. But they held out for the scenario. And honestly, the Confederates... Oops. It's the wrong way there. The Confederates are in not much better position. Holy cow. Not a tutorial on tweezers. This unit's not bad with 4 out of the 6 strength points remaining. This one is down to 3 out of 6. This one's down to 3 out of 6. This one was 3 out of 4. So Wofford still has some punch in him. The artillery didn't do anything. But yeah, it's not looking... I mean, the Confederates, what looked like the Confederates were just going to wipe out the Union and march everyone off this thing. You know, I played it out to its completion, and you get 1 regiment plowing through on a turn, making its closing rolls. Very little opening volley damage to this unit, so it was pushing, and what finally got it was 2 losses because of this artillery. Just wrecked it. But all these guys, these 3 back here are shot. This guy could move up and help defend, but these guys are pretty rough. I mean, at this point, the Union would be consolidating, and I'll do probably some fires to try to do a little bit more damage, but I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to doing the orders. That's the meat and potatoes of this game. I think I've said that about 5-6 times now. So I'm really looking forward to that. But the combat system, It's so simple. It's not that complex. There's plenty of strategy going on. There's plenty of modifiers and things that give you a back and forth feel. I'll see how that plays out when I'm using strict orders. Because I'm going to do this. I got a couple guys lined up. They're each going to take the commanding officer, the commanding general side in Gettysburg, and they're going to give me the orders, so they won't know each other's orders, and then I have to act out all those orders to the best of my ability. Exactly the way they're going to put them. We're going to have them give me really strict orders, like avenues of attack and all that stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to get that going. I'm going to do that on Vassal for a number of reasons. One, I don't have the room. Two, I've gotten a little shakier as I've gotten older. Keep knocking stacks over. And also I know there's a lot of guys that don't dig Vassal that much, but to be able to just hover over and see what's in a stack is so much easier for me. I guess maybe I've gotten lazy that way. I don't know. I do love moving the counters around and stuff. But I think something the size of Gettysburg, it'd be really tough to remember. A lot of it I could remember who was wrecked or in trouble. So anyway, I'm going to do the final Union turn, and then I'll post that up. And then the next thing you see from me will either be a Goss video with Walk Dem Rhine or the beginning of the Gettysburg stuff. So thanks for joining me, and I will get this done up and then go right to the Union turn, which I'll attach to this. So see you shortly. Okay, here we are wrapping up the final turn. I forgot one more counter. Yeah, I did forget the rally phase because it was pretty much over. Funny thing is both these guys are wrecked, but because they were next to the enemy, they pounded away. So over here, this unit was... it started with like 7, I think. Ended up losing a total of 3. One time it had to fall back shaken. Did fire here. It wrecked the unit, but even in the wreck status with an A and shaken, or wrecked, I mean, and shaken, they held on. They rolled like a 4 or something. So it was like, I don't know, maybe it was lower than that. No, they didn't get the 4 because they didn't bloodlust. Must have been a 5. I think it was 9. They basically missed it by 1. So these 3 units picked on them, but this unit's done. It's now wrecked. This unit got bloodlusted and then wrecked because these 2 fired on it. These 2 fired on this unit. This one only has like 1 strength point and he has 2, or vice versa. I can't remember. And they both rolled like 10s or better. So he took 1 loss, checked, he made it, took another loss, and then I rolled, well, here was my last roll for the Union for a morale check. So an 11 with like a +4 or whatever it was. So it was, rout, back 6, lose 2. So bye-bye to the 16th Georgia. This guy here fired and didn't do anything. Oh, and here was the other thing. Over here, Barksdale got killed, shot right off the horse. So he was over there and it just was rough. So I've learned a lot in the combat system. I've learned that even when an enemy looks beat up, if they got units that aren't wrecked, they can come back and do some damage. And even if you got good units, I mean, one bad, boxcar roll or an 11, and all of a sudden you're routing and you're just, you're running back 6 hexes. It just gets ugly. So this is it. I'd say it was a Pyrrhic victory for the North because they lost 4 regiments that are basically knocked out. They got a number of wrecked, like 4 wrecked ones that have 1 or 2 strength points only. But the Confederate attack is pretty much done. He's wrecked. He's wrecked. I think he's wrecked. All they had to do was hit him, and they didn't even hit him. They rolled horrible to shoot him. I thought this guy would be running. I think he's the only guy not wrecked. Yeah, he's lost 1 strength point. So the Confederates are done. So I'd have to give it to the Union. Definitely a Pyrrhic victory because of the amount of losses. I'm not sure in the game if this is the standard. Like I would say that both of these small divisions, 2 brigades, both of them are done. This brigade would go back and lick its wounds. You'd have to bring somebody else up to support it and take this position because they're not going to be able to hold it. These guys are done. They need to probably do the skedaddle thing and have their HQ and everything and just move, just go. So, but that's the fun parts that I get to still learn because I haven't been able to do any of that. And, I mean, Civil War wise, that would seem about right. A lot of times, this is kind of a glorified meeting engagement. They got to the peach orchard a little bit before, and then they get slammed into shortly after they got positioned. That was too late for them to do much. And, it just seems like this game's going to be all about reserves, good leaders making their roles, not having a stoppage, and being able to take advantage of an opportunity like this where you have a wreck brigade to pull, pulling one out and bringing another one in would be pretty interesting to see how to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it. I've really been enjoying the game. It's fairly simple. I think the rule book is only like 31 pages, 32, somewhere in there of rules, and that's with optional rules. Then the rest of the rule book is like design notes and commentary and stuff. The complexity comes in the orders, so that's going to be interesting to learn that. I'm going to have to take my time on that. But I've really enjoyed it. I want to thank my friend Clay for my birthday present. I super enjoy it and super appreciate it. And probably, once I get the basement area set up here, hopefully later this year, I might try to do some of the other scenarios that are like smaller scenarios, but would involve orders. Because I do miss moving the counters, but I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of a vassal guy. I know some guys they don't even like vassal that much, but I really do. I like the, everything's more, I'm a little more OCD than I used to. I like everything lined up as much as I can, and I don't like these stacks, and then I fidget with them, and I bump stuff, and I used to not be like that, but I don't know if it's just an age thing or what. It's a little harder to see stuff. I'm a little more shaky when I try to pick things up sometimes. I bump things. But I do love moving pieces around. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling. I've enjoyed it. I would seriously encourage anybody that loves the black powder era, especially the Civil War, to give this one a shot. I know it's out of print. Hopefully they do some more Line of Battle series and reprint these too. I'd like to get the Antietam one. I love Antietam, but it's a little high priced right now for me and where things are financially. I'm going to have to hold off. But anyway, like I said, I'm just kind of rambling. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to bring it to completion. Just trying to think if there's anything else I'd want to add. I don't think so. But join me for the Gettysburg one. It'll be a little while because I want to get a few turns done and then start posting them. But I'm hopefully going to start getting the first turns done this week. And I'll be doing that on Vassal. So with OBS, doing a screen capture. Thanks for joining me, and y'all have yourself a good evening.